Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another video for The Division. There's a new one every Thursday, so make sure you mark that in your calendars, and in case you need reminding, you can also follow me on Twitter to stay up to date. It's on screen right now. Anyway, if you didn't catch last week's episode, I spoke about extraction and how it forms a key part of PvP gameplay, but today I want to talk about another really interesting mechanic: influence. So first up, you're probably wondering what, in the context of The Division, is influence. Well, in short, by securing key points around the city, you are able to influence the wider game world. An example of this came up in the Rev 3 interview, where there could be a scenario where, say for example, a police station is completely overrun and being held by bandits, or whatever the enemy force is in the game. And if you are able to defeat them, and in turn reclaim control over the building, then the police will gradually return and begin patrolling the surrounding area. This in turn makes it a safer place to be, and in a small part changes your game world. In addition to that, it was also mentioned that some of these influence scenarios will even be linked to objectives. For example, restoring power to an area will have an obvious impact on surrounding structures, and restoring the flow of water similarly can help influence certain zones as well as actively complete objectives. But then this raises an interesting question. While this bit hasn't actually been covered in an interview, I'm going to put my speculation hat on for a second. Seeing as The Division has this vast, living, breathing, forever changing world, it makes me wonder whether this influence system is only temporary. I mean, after all, if you can defeat bandits and reclaim a police station, surely the bandits could, when you go away, fight back and reclaim it for themselves. Personally, I think this would be an amazing mechanic, because no matter how big the world is and how much it expands over the years, there's always going to have to be a finite number of things you can do and places you can influence. But if they are never truly safe and within your control, this could promote backtracking and have you manage your ventures both out into new areas, whilst also maintaining places you've helped on your way. You'll always have to strike that balance between, do I want to venture to the other side of the city, because I'm also worried about what's going to happen when I leave. Also, further speculation, but something that seems a likely fit. Seeing as we know that the Division's PvP zones, or dark zones as they are known, exist in the same world, and at times you'll cross into them to complete certain objectives, could it well be that certain influential areas exist within these zones? Take the 2013 gameplay demo as an example. You see the agents fighting outside the police station. Now this may not be a zone you can influence, but let's just say for argument's sake that it is. You also know from the beginning of this video that it's in a dark zone. And the fact that during the extraction sequence at the end, they engage with other human players, it raises the question, what if you also had to fight to hold zones in a PvP environment as well? Maybe your objective requires you restore the power, so you venture into the dark zone, reclaim the area, turn on the power, and leave the zone to influence nearby buildings. This then allows you to progress with your story, but take too long, and other players may flip the switch in their favour, in turn hindering your progress. Obviously this would need to be managed in the right way. There'd have to be some sort of cooldown period so as to prevent people just undoing your hard work the second you leave the area, but either way, that could be pretty damn awesome. And if you then expand on the concept of influence, perhaps to benefit the wider city, you may need to gradually influence multiple zones. Say for example, one area restores the police, in turn making the area safer, but 5 police stations in 5 different areas may result in locking down an entire district. Combine this with the objective to restore power and water, and perhaps we now begin to see how we, as agents, will begin saving the city from this virus. Obviously, there is a great deal of speculation there, but nothing too far out the realms of possibility, given what we actually know to be true. And on that note, that brings me to the end of this topic. However, just before I end this video, I know a lot of you guys have been asking this in a lot of my recent videos. When is this game coming out? And while we don't have an exact date, we do know one thing. In a recent financial report, Ubisoft confirmed that 3 of their biggest titles, The Division, Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed, will all be out before the end of the next fiscal year, which is the end of March 2016. However, when the question was then raised on Twitter as to whether we would see The Division this year, the response from the official Twitter account was yes. So not only will it be before the end of the fiscal, but also before the end of this year. Beyond that, we don't know any dates, but at least there's a light at the end of the proverbial tunnel. Anyway, that is it for this week. Make sure you check back every Thursday for a new Division video, and be sure to hit that thumbs up button and leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and make sure you're subscribed to be part of the Arekkz Gaming Nation, and so you don't miss a single video. Follow me on Twitter as well so you can stay up to date on all the latest, and thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.